Okay, it's July, 26th, 2024. I swear, I've spent half of the day literally trying to make something that makes sense. Should take about 20 minutes or so, but instead, no. That's what you get for having the oldest technology. Anyway, let's get to it. It is what it is. I'm asking folks, anybody who's listening, to consider lending me a hand. Anything you can gift that would be useful to me. Give me a bit of a break because these last few years have been really tough. I'm dealing with some financial difficulty. So the date is July 26, 2024. Dealing with quite a bit. I've worked for several years. It's not in me. It's not really the way that I was raised. I don't like asking. But I found that life can be quite brutal. And sometimes you just have to find a way anyway. Or deal with things being the same as it is, because I've learned that society often doesn't give a you know what if you suffer. Society will just let you suffer. It'll judge you all day long about what you did or didn't do, but it's not coming to save you. So I'm doing, out of the very limited choices, I can't even talk. It's so late and I'm so exhausted. I'm doing what I can with what I have, and that's it. So if folks want to judge, you can judge, but yeah, this is not normal for me. It's the longest stretch of time where I've been having no income for a while. Sometimes before I'll have a month here or there, maybe once, twice a year, where I'm not working, but to go several months like this with no income is it's not common for me. But I'm doing what I can. I'm looking for jobs. I've submitted many resumes. I've gotten rejection letters. I've gotten one job interview, which I couldn't go to because I don't have a vehicle. I didn't have money at the time, like any savings. So there was no way to get there. A lot of things occurred suddenly, like, a death of a family member, immediate. So lots of things occurred. I don't know. uh, I just kind of quit talking. I usually don't do this, but I just got sick of it. My job that I had for a few years at the time, I think around May or something, they offered me technically, it wasn't even an offer, but they said there was another job title because they said there was no shifts available for the job I was hired for, the job title. Um, so they said there's another job. And based on how things went, I don't trust them. They said it would be a certain amount of hours a week. I'm sure it will actually be much less than that, as always. Um, Overall, it just wasn't worth the time. I wasn't willing to give them all my weekends because they said they would only schedule somebody for that new job on weekends. Um, it's not worth it to sacrifice that much for so little money. Um, So yeah, I haven't been talking to them. I didn't give them my final decision. I didn't know for a while what I should do. And now I've almost realized that most likely I'm not going back. So I don't even know if it's worth, because it's been a few months, if I should just tell them and confirm that I'm not coming back, or it is what it is. Just yeah, but usually I have told jobs if I'm quitting or whatever. Um yeah. Anyway, uh, now I don't have an income and I'm looking for jobs, but I'm very limited because I don't have a vehicle. There's a few jobs in my area, but they require driver's license or some sort of thing I don't have, a certification or something, another kind of license. Or they require years in the industry, like just for a billing front desk kind of thing. I think one of the jobs I looked at, it was like a dealer sort of thing for cars. And they're like, oh, you need, I don't know how many years in the industry. So I'm disqualified from a lot of things. So I was going to see if I can make money online, which I was kind of wishing that I don't know how I would do it. I mean, I would need to get the views. Honestly, most likely I would have to get, the tech stuff and, gifts, donations from my viewers. And then, eventually as I get more viewers, maybe certain brands will know about me and, you would make contracts and deals with them. So, or I would. Um, that's how I was thinking it would go because I doubt you have to have so many viewers and subscribers and blah 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 to get you know any kind of significant money um, from directly from these websites. From what I understand, it's not easy. It's kind of really a miracle if you can actually make a living just directly like that. So we'll see. Um, like my circumstances can change at any time. Um, I don't know where I'll be living in the future. I'm just, you know, trying to figure out what can I do to make things the best for me. Um, and that's it. There's a lot outside of my control. What's done is done. I was told the house that I'm living at might be sold regardless. Um, some of it has to do with the homeowner's financial situation and other factors. So, in that case, I would have to find somewhere else to live. Now, because of my credit score and my history, like financial history, that's going to be really hard. Most landlords will look at your history and run a credit score, and both of mine's are horrible. And so, because of the financial abuse I had to deal with for years, well, there's other factors, but that's a big one. I had to rebuy items over and over. It sounds like I'm lying because, you know, I don't know. I just feel like it's very bizarre and folks won't believe me, but that's the truth. That, I lived somewhere for years. Still to this day, things will go missing. Still I'm being stolen from on a daily, weekly to monthly basis. So I haven't sued this individual. We haven't gone to court. There's been no kind of consequence except negative for me, right? So, yeah, all of this is under my name, my own credit card. So I'm financially and legally responsible. Um, and this other individual who's done this, she hasn't contributed a cent towards the debt. She's not legally tied to any of this. So I just feel like it's very unfair because, she's the one who stole my items. And you would think theft is a crime, but I guess because I did have to call law enforcement many times, and from what I was told from one of the officers, was that a crime had not been committed because it was in the home. Now, if a stranger did that, like let's say, I don't know, thinking of a random thing, uh, I left my bike on, in front of a house, or even if there was a delivery or something. If it was a stranger who stole, something that clearly belonged to somebody, it didn't belong to them, then yes, you could file something. They'll, tell you that they're going to do an investigation and all this stuff. But, they were telling me, oh, no, no crime occurred, total gaslighting, like, oh, what occurred didn't occur. So, I guess that's how it is illegally. Anyway, I don't know what I can do about I just think it's really not right that I have to deal with this financial mess on my own, and it's going to influence a lot of things for God knows how long, for years. It's not right. Um, but this is what occurs to many women, many individuals. And I think you're going to find these kind of situations, unfortunately, are going to become more common. Domestic violence and all sorts of, tragic things, because folks are going to be stuck in this situation because they have no money to leave. They have no money to take care of themselves. They've got no defense system. And I've seen it and dealt with it firsthand. Society, I've told many individuals, law enforcement, individuals, by themselves, organizations, nobody did anything. Most of them didn't even believe me. So, you're really stuck. Uh, so, yeah, I don't think there's nothing that I can do, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I tried to install my own defense system. Um, I need to install some cameras, I guess, but I did use a door lock. Like, it's a thing, you attach it to the door handle, and then you attach a key to that, and you can lock the door. But guess what? The homeowner found out. She hasn't given it back yet, neither of them. She stole both the lock and the key, and she did not give them back. It's been a few days so far. She also, I'm guessing she had to authorize, because basically one morning I was awake, and there's a bit more context to this, but I found in the morning that literally the door handle was missing. There was a circle where the door handle was, but there was nothing attached to that circle. So it was just almost as if somebody, obviously it's intentional, it's how the door was designed, but it kind of looked almost as if somebody had carved out a hole, uh, you know, within the door itself. So, that's still the case. Nothing has changed. Some usually I'll have access to the TV, but which is not mine. This is owned by the homeowner. Now, there's no. She takes the remote as sort of a consequence or whatever, a retaliate. Let's call it what it is. It's an effort of retaliation. Um, when she's not content with me and wants to give me a consequence, then that's what she does. She just, I guess, hides the remote somewhere. So I've got no access to the TV. Um, it's a whole, you can imagine the dynamic. Very stressful. I've dealt with health issues. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if I had cervical cancer, honestly. Um, just the stress, and I've been feeling like stabbing sensations, where, so I don't know. It's a lot. I don't know if there's any lawyers out there that are watching this, but if you have any sort of advice or would do a free consult, let me know, because I don't know if there's anything I can do legally. Like, throughout this whole situation, let's just say, even if I don't get my money back, um, can I at least have some sort of legally enforced mediator that that has a bit of authority, because clearly this homeowner is not scared of me, and it's only getting worse and worse. So I don't have the influence to do nothing. uh, I've tried a little bit, it's not working. um, this individual has more status in society, has more money, has more everything. What am I meant to do? So yeah, I don't know what to do. I just feel very vulnerable and defenseless, you know. I mean, the only thing I can think to myself is like, oh, it's just stuff. Things have to change eventually. That's the cycle of life. That's it. Because what else can I do? Um, but yeah, I think in these situations, if we had something in the legal system where, if abuses are, crimes are clearly occurring, that kind of stuff, that individuals doing this kind of stuff would be held accountable somehow. Like there should be an incentive for them to quit doing this stuff, or at least try, you know. Because there's a lot of folks I've learned that really enjoy making others feel unsafe, and they just have this entitlement. Like they know they can get away with it. They absolutely do. They'll tell their, don't like this word, but they'll tell their victims, like, nobody's going to believe you. You know, everyone thought I should treat you worse. Everybody agrees with me. You know they have the encouragement of society. They know that they're allowed to behave the way they do because society not only allows it, but encourages the behaviors. So, this nonsense that there's some sort of innocence, or, they don't know what they're doing. They just are trying so hard and it's so tragic. They can't control themselves. No, that's not what's going on. Uh, Vast majority of the times. Maybe there's some instances, but I've heard many cases, and basically all the ones I've heard, it's like, it's clear that these folks, they just have an entitlement. They know what they're doing, and they believe they have the right to do whatever they're doing. So it's just that basic, you know, very straightforward. Anyway, so yeah, I'm asking folks to consider, if you can, only if you can. I just beg you guys, don't go into financial ruin, or, your family comes first, your well being, your finances come first. But if you can, consider giving, I don't know, for now, I could just use some small things just to offset, because I can't afford everything. I'm thinking of trying to leave this environment, but I can't afford the debt situation, my current cost of living, trying to finance a vehicle, trying to find somewhere else to live. Like, realistically, I know even if I find several jobs, I can't afford all that. So if somebody would kindly, or if many individuals would just, and this is the thing with domestic situations, it does take a while. And if, folks will just, I think a lot of folks just think that it should be an easy fix. They don't understand. Like, I've had individuals tell me they don't understand why I've been in this situation for years. Um, I don't know, if you just cannot tolerate the fact that for me it's going to take a while. Folks just want quick results, and I know in my case that's not going to occur, sadly. um, it's going to take a while for me to kind of fully get back on my feet, if you want to call it that. uh, and that's just the reality. um, so I'm just asking folks to consider gifting me some things, because the idea that I had was to try to find a way to save money for a used vehicle, maybe live there, and then, uh, so if folks give me some like short term things, then instead of wasting my money on that, then I could save that money and use it for more long term stuff that would sustain me. That's the idea. I can't afford everything, and I need some of the burden to be removed, at least for a little while, because my health just, I can't. Uh, it's being affected, and my body just needs the rest. I need to feel some sense of safety. Anyway, so some of the things I need, I already mentioned. So one would be like a coffee machine, because mine broke literally a few days. No, was it today or yesterday? Very recently it broke. So just a basic one is fine. All the stuff I'm listing, if it's used or stained, as long as it works decently, then I'm fine. I don't care. Anything is wonderful. that will, be effective. Um, then instant coffee for now. Um, I would normally get it at Dollar Tree, but the thing is, the last few days they've been out of stock. So, assuming they're not, let's say they discontinue it or they're not going to bring any more, um, I can't afford the like grocery store cost. It's ridiculous. The only thing that I could afford would be Dollar Tree or Walmart. So, instant coffee, um, because when I'm out and about and if that coffee machine is not working, then I can always just make do with instant. Um, Dark chocolate, because I was just amazed by how expensive that can be, especially after a while. Almost any brand. I don't like Hershey's or Cadbury. It's a UK brand. Your scones might be good, your tea might be good. I do like, you know, there's a lot about English culture that is cool. But yeah, Cadbury in it. I'm sorry. Um, I think it would be interesting to try like different foods from around the world. So I don't know if I could try to earn some money by doing that kind of content, but that would be interesting. Um, let's see what else. Mugs. So Dollar Tree does have those, and that's what I would usually use. But things occurred, so I only have a few mugs, which is hardly enough. But what I mean is for everyday use. They have to be microwave safe, dishwasher safe, mainly microwave safe. Um, I'm not sure because of the storage. So if I do get a storage unit, I gotta save for a storage unit. So I think the most affordable one I found was like 100 something a month. So if I can get some funds gifted to me to get a storage unit, that would be fantastic. Um, because if I have to live somewhere smaller, like a smaller room, or even my current one, to be honest, with all the stuff I have, it can't fit. I could give those away, but it's just like if I'm going to use it, if I'm going to rebuy it eventually anyway, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it's worth it. Eventually I'm going to calculate, and if it's too expensive to have the storage unit and I just figure that it's more affordable just to donate everything, then I'll do that and we'll forget it. But I don't know. For now, I think storage unit would be useful. Um, my mobile, so that is, I thought I would do this in order, but honestly, I'm so tired. I'm just listing random things that I can think of. That would actually be useful. So, what was I saying? My mobile, which is about $50 a month. Um, because of my domestic situation, basically anything that has to be delivered that I can't actually buy and grab on demand, I cannot use my home address because it just would create drama. I'm already getting things stolen. The homeowner does not allow deliveries because she feels that I shouldn't have anything because of my financial situation. I disagree, but it is what it is. She's also not contributing a cent as far as my living costs. I cover everything. She's just letting me stay in her home barely and constantly mentioning eviction and all that kind of stuff. Um, so, yeah, basically, I was told that I can have my stuff, which is, I guess, kind of a lie now. But I can have my stuff in my designated, basically my bedroom, and that's it. So that's basically the storage that I do have, nothing else. So because of this, because it's so difficult for me to get things delivered at my home address, I do use a facility and I have stuff sent over there. And then I have to get it back home somehow. So, that's kind of a small obstacle currently, is that I have some stuff I need to grab quite a bit relative to usual. and I definitely need a vehicle to carry everything. So the idea was to at least get a taxi home, which would literally just be a few dollars, but I don't have that money. So, issues. Now, eventually, luckily, they're quite understanding, but eventually they may throw all that stuff because they're not going to hold it forever, I assume. And I've been trying to find neighbors or anybody who will take me there. No such luck. Um, they're very slow with communication, too. So, yeah. Um, so that one is $275 a year. Now, it is annual, you have to commit. So I covered the cost of this year to next year. So about, what was it, February 2024 to February 2025 is covered for already. But I would need the funds February 2025 to February 2026, um, assuming nothing changes. Some smaller things, there's Instacart, which sometimes I need certain things like groceries delivered, which my living environment sometimes will allow groceries to be delivered. But I try to do that when nobody is home besides me. Um, for me, I find that very useful and quite frankly necessary. There's been many times because of all this chaos and uh, my emotional state and stuff, I just don't have the energy to or the money to go get a taxi if needed, get um, groceries, and so that's very essential to have the ability. I don't do it often, but every once in a while to be able to have some things delivered as far as groceries. Very much so when it comes to fruit and veggies, because honestly, to get them delivered cost less usually than me getting a taxi. Um, and it's a lot less work and stuff like that. So that's just the most effective way for me to get like fruits and veggies and stuff like that, like heavier things, water, whatever. So now the food bank does offer some food, obviously, but they're quite limited when it comes to fresh fruit and fresh veggies. So most of that stuff I have to buy for myself. I do like to have a fair amount of fresh fruit and some fresh veggies. Um, excuse me. So the Instacart service, usually around, I think, Christmas, Thanksgiving ish, they have a sale. So last year it cost me about $50 or so a year. So I'm just wishing that this year they're going to have the same deal. So that would be 50. I think the without the discount, it's like, I don't know, maybe 100 or so. Then I've got my thing from Costco, which is I don't really get anything. Well, no, I get groceries and stuff, but with Instacart, you don't necessarily need to be a member, and Instacart does have Costco. But the thing that's cool about being a member is their food court, and you get access to the stores, and sometimes they have very good deals. So I find overall it to be worth it. Um, hmm. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if this year it was very worth it, to be honest, but definitely if I went more frequently, like if I got things from the food court, because cost wise, as I said, you can get a lot of their groceries from Instacart, but not everything. So theoretically, I could have had things from, the food stuff be delivered, and then you can't do the food court though through Instacart. So if I went every month, you know, to Costco and then got the food court stuff, then it would definitely be worth the, you know, cost of being a member. So for me, it's about $60 a year. Um, I subscribe also to a few beauty boxes, a few other boxes. Um, so they range from, I would say on average, about $25 a month. Some of them a little bit more than that. So if you guys like seeing the hauls, you can consider donating to make that um, continue, because I'm considering canceling. I did subscribe for a year's worth of Allure and BoxyCharm, though I'm not sure if it's going to actually go through. They might just say, "Oh, your card got denied," and then in that case, uh, maybe I'm gonna have no choice, but they're gonna decline me as a customer or something. I don't know. We'll see what occurs. Then what else? What other costs? Um, oh, commuting is a big thing. Again, if I need to get to an interview, do things kind of last minute. Since I don't have a vehicle, I take Lyft usually. I can take Uber, but Lyft is just more affordable. So if you want to send gift cards, Lyft themselves, like the business, they do sell their own gift cards, same as Uber does the same thing. So if you're going to send gift cards, I would say Lyft, because I can get more for the money, basically. Um, I think there are, like, if you buy a certain amount, they'll give you like a free one with Lyft, especially on the holidays. Um, you can also, if you have an account yourself, you can uh, send an e-gift card to somebody else. You would just need their information. So if folks want to do it that way, you know, we can discuss. Um, yeah, I don't know if I mentioned the food bank, but yeah, it would be more affordable. I don't think folks and for me, I can't take a whole lot of random food, because the storage that I have is very limited. So therefore, I'd rather folks don't do that. If you want to donate for that reason, uh, in terms of my food, then what I would suggest is, you can try asking, what specifically do I need, during a certain amount of time, or more effectively, um, it costs about $30 back and forth to go to my kind of local food bank. So, I can just go over there, and I'd rather folks, if you're going to donate, like, use most of the money for something else, you know, instead of wasting a whole bunch of money on groceries. Anyway, because I already have a food budget and stuff, and money that has to specifically go to food, so it doesn't make sense to overdo it. I'm just a single individual. Um, but for the cats, I do have some animals that I'm looking after, as doing what I can. So I do give them food. I'm good on dry food, but just generally, honestly, I don't know. Once the stuff runs out that I do have, I don't know if or how I'm going to get them more food or more stuff. They're good on toys. They don't really care for toys. Half of the stuff that I bought them, as far as toys, they don't even touch. But, the food they definitely like. So I'm running out of wet food. I have enough for maybe a month, maybe longer. I don't know. I'm running out of wet food. So the order for now would be wet food. As far as for the animals, wet food. They're cats, by the way. Wet food, wet treats, dry treats, and then dry food would be the very last, because I have quite a bit of dry food for now. I was thinking it's called chewy.com. They sell a lot of things for animals. Kind of recommend using them. So they do have a thing, it's called auto ship, where you can kind of schedule your deliveries with the frequency that you want, mostly, and they will send you, you're going to be charged automatically, and they'll send you whatever's in your order, as long as it's in stock. um, so I did already schedule that. I don't know if my card will go through. So normally for them, for the food and treats, it's about there's a